What's up everybody, and welcome to the channel. In today's video, we're going to take a look at the all-new 2023 Toyota Sequoia. This one is the Platinum 4-wheel drive, finished off in silver metallic. MSRP is right at $79,300. Underneath the hood of the all-new 2023 Toyota Sequoia, you're going to find the iForce Max twin turbocharged 6-cylinder hybrid. This V6 is a 3.5 liter, pumping out 437 horsepower with 583 pound-feet of torque. It's paired to a 10-speed automatic transmission and of course has a 4-wheel drive transfer case. The curb weight is around 6,100 pounds and it runs on a 22-gallon fuel tank, so you can expect 19 miles per gallon in the city with 22 out on the highway. And then max towing capacity for 4-wheel drives are 9,000 pounds and payload is 1,400 pounds. Overall length is 208.1 inches with wheelbase at 122. Width is 79.8 and height is 74.5 inches. Minimum ground clearance is also 8.6. And then now moving on to the exterior styling with the 2023 Toyota Sequoia. This thing is a massive SUV. It looks so aggressive. We get these new LED headlights with a blacked out housing and a super nice daytime running light. Then you can see this huge grille finished off with gloss black on the mesh. You do get some nice blue trim around the Toyota logo to make sure you know this is a hybrid. Then we even have active grille shutters in back to improve efficiency when needed, forward-facing camera as well as a safety sensor, and then more black trim all down below. You can see parking sensors, LED fog lights, really nice contours all within the front bumper. You can even see a nice intake duct right there to direct air around the front tires. We get an air dam down below as well, and I think the front end comes together to really make the new Sequoia stand out. You can also see some sharp lines all around the hood, fading their way towards the windshield. It just looks like a super aggressive SUV. You can see that new Tundra vibe in it, and we also get that iForce Max logo right on the back of the hood. And then making our way to the side profile, you get a set of gloss black fender flares that have a nice look to them, and then this also has a set of 20-inch wheels. They're finished in a multi-spoke design in a gunmetal gray. Then you can see a really sharp body line in the upper portion on those front fenders. And then we get that platinum badge down below with some trim. Really nice contours all throughout the side profile. Then you can see the body color on the door handles. This Sequoia does have the optional power folding and telescoping tow mirrors to really help you see what's around you. They even feature an integrated camera. Then you can see the blacked out design for these A-pillars, giving it a floating roof design, and then up on top we have a panoramic sunroof. You can see your roof rails all blacked out around all the windows. And then moving to the side profile, the Sequoia is huge and has a fantastic proportion. I love the really sharp lines around the front and rear fender arch, and you can see how that rear line cuts all the way into the back towards these taillights. You can see the black up above, integrated spoiler, then all black for this rear window. There is the third brake light up above, you got your windshield wiper as well, and then a massive set of LED taillights. They stick out really nicely, integrated super well. Then you can see more of this gloss black trim all down below with your parking sensors, and then Sequoia is all blacked out. You can also see the glass button back here, along with another Toyota badge with the blue accents, your backup camera, and then a nice gloss black trim piece right in the center. The Sequoia really stands out, and I think this new design comes together very well. So if we now take a look at the key fob, pretty basic with just some black on one side and then all of your typical buttons. When the car is locked, you can see those mirrors fold in, but once I grab the door handle, everything unlocks. And we also get a power set of side steps. Taking a look at the interior, this one has a full black leather interior with blue stitching all around. Then the door panel is finished off in black. You can see the blue stitching up above, some really nice soft black leather. Then we get our release handle, some controls for your mirror and windows, lock and unlock, and a good armrest with some padding. There's also memory seating and then more storage all around the doors. And then moving inside, you can see how large that step is. And then we get all of your power controls on the left side of the seat, even with an adjustable leg rest. You can press that to extend that. You can see the blue stitching along with the black leather, and then all the perforated leather throughout the center. It has a really nice design moving our way all the way up to the seats, smooth along the headrests. Then we get a nice black leather steering wheel with some silver trim. And then now inside the new Sequoia, keep my foot on the brake, we can go ahead and turn it on. All the power is gonna come up, and then the engine is gonna roar to life. You can see the full digital LCD display for the gauge cluster with the tach right in the center. We've got the boost gauge on the right along with the battery indicator and some vitals all down below that. On the left side of the steering wheel, we can configure the screen a little bit going through everything. If I go ahead and take a look on this left side, I can scroll up and down, see quite a few different safety information. Then scrolling left and right, we can get messages. We also have more indications like fuel economy, things like that. Doesn't seem to quite get the rated MPG, at least with me driving. Then we have audio controls, and then a few more things are gonna come up. Along with that, if you take a look in the center, we have our drive mode that you can just adjust, just toggling this left and right. You can see all the different modes from the Sport. You have a Sport Plus as well, Custom, and then you can dial it down to your normal mode, Comfort, and then an Eco mode. So pretty nice with what you get up on that screen. You can see cruise control settings on the right with your distance pacing as well as the lane keeping. Then we have some Bluetooth and audio controls also on the left. You see the stalk on the right side for windshield wipers, turn signals on the left with some headlight controls. Then down below that, we can see the rear light, your auto high beams, fuel door, then a few more things. This far one right here is for those tow mirrors. So if I go ahead and press that, they're gonna automatically slide outwards. I also like how they are power folding, so you can easily do that from the inside when parking, especially since they are insanely wide. A few more controls like heated steering wheel, the side steps you're able to adjust. Then you can see one of your air vents, heads-up display, and then a nice little cubby spot up in front of the screen. There's more of this stitching, some nice smooth black leather along everything. Even says Platinum over there with a cool design. And then those air vents are really nice looking with the dashboard. Everything really comes together. Taking a look at the center screen now, this is a huge LCD display. Touchscreen, of course, all of your different audio controls. We have your navigation screen that will come up. Then we have your phone integration. Tapping car, you get a little bit of things that are gonna pop up. Not all too much information in the screen. However, pretty much everything you need, nothing more and nothing less. And then if we just tap this view icon down here for the camera, we can get a good look at some of the cameras. We got a really cool 360 view. You can tap this icon as well. Basically puts you right in the center. Exiting out of here, if I go ahead and put it into reverse now, you can see our backup camera on the left with the top-down view. You can also adjust a few different things, full screen. You can adjust your guidelines on it with what you'd like to see. Tapping this one for the trailer hitch. Then we have a few different views. You have a front view, front side, and then this one is great for towing. You can really see your trailer behind you. Going back into park now. Underneath this, we have all your climate control settings. We have a fan speed toggle right here. Then you can also toggle this to adjust all of the rear climates, your different modes as well, where you'd like all the air to go. Then we have dual zone temperature with these nice toggle switches. Heated and ventilated seating with all of your different controls right there. You get a small USB as well as the volume and power. Underneath that, we have the trailer and tow mode, the view icon, traction control, and then air ride suspension. We get a wireless phone charging with just a little bit of storage, electronic parking brake, and then your gear selector. We also have our full four-wheel drive control, different drive modes along with a tow and haul, and then just toggling this, you can see your two cup holders. On the center armrest, we have some really nice leather and stitching, makes its way all the way around. And you can even open that up for a little bit more storage space, more storage here, and then that slides backwards to give you some more space inside. You can also press the button and open it up, and as expected, it is pretty roomy. Taking a look at the glove box now, you have a pretty large bucket in here, as you would expect. And then one last look at the interior. The new Sequoia really looks nice. Comes together well, you get that full panoramic roof, all of your roof controls. You even get a sunglass holder up here, and then the camera for the rear view mirror. And then moving on to the rear seat space, if I open up the door panel's finished off just like we saw up front with the black leather and all this nice blue stitching. We even do get manual sunshades, release handle, a ton of storage, and then you can see how the footsteps are. So in back, we get the same materials, all the same upholstery and everything. And I like how these are captain chairs with adjustable armrests. There is storage down below that. All of your climate controls along with heated and ventilated seats. So it really makes it super luxurious back here. Got some plugs down below that, cup holders, and then storage even behind here. And then from here, if you just grab the recline lever, this is gonna pull it forward and slide it all the way up to give you good access into the third row. You get a really nice step, and then you can see the third row down right now. We do have a button that you can press though, and it's gonna automatically put these seats back into position. and you can get a good idea of how everything is gonna look. So then hopping into the back seat of the Sequoia, if I go ahead and recline it all the way, this is a pretty nice place to be. I'm 5'11", plenty of headroom regardless of how the seats recline. And with the driver's seat, even at my height, I have plenty of knee room and foot room. Honestly, nice place to be. You got good armrests, the good storage in the center, even air vents up above that with grab handles, and with the sunroof open, you got even more space. So definitely a good family SUV. So if we put this one kind of back into a normal recline, let's go ahead and climb through the center. Not the easiest to climb right through. However, we can check out this third row seat back here. So sitting here behind the second row seat, still have pretty good knee room as well as leg room. Now these seats are kind of on the ground, so there's quite a lot of space right here. So they definitely feel a little on the cramped side. You do get another sunshade back here, which is a cool touch. More air vents and hooks. And there's even an armrest with some cup holders on here. Now the headrest, of course, can get a little bit more comfortable. It's okay back here. I mean, in a pinch, this wouldn't be the worst third row seat. So for little kids or something like that, definitely not a bad way to go. And I like how you can seat 3 people right here. And they do have extra adjustments. So right here, you can recline them. So with the automatic button, if I go ahead and recline the seat, my head kind of hits this now, but this really could be pretty doable to at least relax in the third row. Onto the rear area, I love how if you press this button, it's gonna pop the glass and we can lift this open. Not many SUVs have that these days, but it gives you some pretty good access into this area. And we can even see the camera right here, which corresponds to that piece. So you can still maintain that camera if you do drive with the window open. We can just go ahead and close it, button right back here. It's gonna automatically lift open that lift gate. Of course, you have a button on the key fob as well. Now with the third row up, it definitely limits your cargo area quite a lot. You can see these pieces will fold up. You only have maybe 8-9 inches of space back here. And then you can see these different levels to put things, to kind of have shelves. So at least that helps out just a little bit. You can also see back here, we have buttons for the third row. So if I just press them, they're gonna automatically fold out of the way. Just press it once, you can see them doing their thing. Now they do kind of sit up a little bit. So once again, it kind of does take away some of the cargo area. And then after manually folding down the second row to get it out of the way, you can also pick up this floorboard, lock it into one of those 3 slots, and now you get a little bit more hidden space down here. You can also pull this lever and that'll slide these forwards and back to kind of help flatten this out. So as you can see, even though those third row seats are kind of in the way being so tall, you do get a little bit extra storage to make this a pretty useful SUV. Then if we go through the side now, you definitely have a lot of cargo area in here in front of the seats and in between. So certainly a pretty practical, roomy jumbo SUV. So we are setting off now in the Sequoia. The hybrid twin turbo, this thing packs a punch. It's heavy, obviously it's a huge SUV, but honestly, the power plant is fantastic, especially when you're in like Sport or Sport Plus. You kind of hear the turbos, you hear a grunty sounding, honestly it sounds like a V8, and you get a little bit of that electronic sound to it. So pretty nice place to be. Huge windshield, you have a really good view out the front, and you are way high up. You can see the hood with all the contours. You kind of feel like you're in a tank because the windshield actually feels a little small. At the same time, it's huge. So pretty interesting looking out of it. The tow mirrors, I will say, are huge. If you're not actually going to be towing a lot with this, you'd probably not option for them. They kind of do get in the way of visibility, especially when you're making a right turn or left turn onto an intersection. That one especially, you kind of got to look up over it, and this one too. So only get that if you are going to be really towing. Now visibility over your left and right shoulder, I will say the C-pillar and that third piece of glass is pretty hindered with that headrest back there. You don't have the best visibility over your right and left shoulder. Actually, left shoulder's pretty good, but over your right, just the way that's set up, it hinders it just a little bit. At least you have the mirror and all the cameras to really help you out with that. But as far as normal driving, if we go into comfort mode, this has the air ride suspension, it's all adjustable. This is a very nice place to be. This is a luxurious family SUV. It glides over bumps. The seats are incredibly comfortable with all the adjustments, the leg rest and everything like that. I mean, honestly, you can just be comfortable driving in the new Sequoia. It's a great place to be. Really good armrests all around, and you just feel so comfortable. I could honestly do a very long trip in this with no issues. All the tech you're gonna need. When you hit the brakes, you do have to fight it a little bit. Most big vehicles, you kind of got to press that pedal a little firm than a smaller car to really come to a stop. But they do a great job, obviously, bringing this down to a standstill. Hitting some train track bumps. Very smooth. And then that turbo power, this thing packs a punch and really gets up to some speed. But for normal driving, this is a nice jumbo family SUV with all the space you're gonna need, all the technology and luxuries, and honestly for the price point, not really all too bad. Fit and finish is pretty good with the things you touch, so really can't complain with a jumbo-sized SUV. All right, so turning around to my honest thoughts perspective of driving in the Sequoia, it's a nice jumbo SUV. You know, you have, I would say the other two that stand out, Jeep Wagoneer is pretty sweet, GMC Yukon is also a very nice option. I would say this pretty much competes with them. You can of course get a TRD Pro version to really give you like that off-road vibe, and there's the Capstone, which is the fully luxury one that will have like crazy stitching, all sort of things. So you get a pretty good blend, and the Sequoia in general starts around that $50,000 mark. I'd say upper 50,000, so not all too crazy for being a jumbo SUV. You know, if this is a little bit out of your budget or a little bit too big, the new Grand Highlander is a good way to go to kind of tone it down a little bit. So right now, that mirror is so big, I just have to kind of look over it because it blocks the road. But overall though, it's a pretty easy, big vehicle to drive. I love the power plant. It feels and sounds just like a super meaty V8. Like anybody who doesn't like it because it's a V6, this thing is awesome. The hybrid twin turbo is such a good way to make power in a relatively smaller economical engine. I will say though, I'm a little disappointed with the MPG. I've been getting about 15 before filming this video flooring it, so I wasn't doing that all the time. But it seems like you're really not gonna get what it's rated at around town. So I've been getting about 15 miles per gallon in it, which is probably a little bit better than a normal Sequoia, but doesn't seem like it's crazy hybrid numbers like you would expect. Other than that though, it does seem like a pretty nice vehicle. Only little minute issues I would say I have with it. The controls right here, the little toggles, all of the writing on it is a little bit dark, so even right now without sunglasses on, you kind of got to squint and really read what each toggle switch does. So I wish they were like a little bit brighter or something to make it easier to see. Fan speed, temperature, you know, rear and sync, kind of hard to figure out which one's which. I wish there was like more backlit or something like that. Other than that, just the visibility issue, you know, we use this to tow the boat, to drop that into the water for the season, and it's a little bit hard backing up a trailer given you can't really see around the back of the vehicle itself. The cameras certainly help, but if you're really going to tow a lot of stuff, that does hinder it a little bit to where a Tundra, you know, pickup truck design is going to be a little bit better. So that's my only little issue with it. I'd say for a jumbo SUV, it's a nice place to be with all the storage and space you would need. The third row, I guess that's another drawback. It's not as big as far as the cargo space behind the third row. Other companies do it a little bit better to where they sink them into the floor. So there's a little bit of sacrifices, I would say, for being so big. It does take away just a little bit of that space. But when you drive this, it feels really nice. It's so comfortable, so smooth. Obviously, Toyota reliability, you know you have that dependability on your side. And I think it's priced pretty well. You know, this one I was thinking was going to be like $90,000. But, you know, sub 80, not too crazy for Platinum. You know, if you don't want this crazy expensive, you can get one a little bit less expensive, still with a lot of options. So it seems like a Platinum's a pretty good option. It's kind of upper middle level for the Sequoia. And I think it's just a nice car to be in. I love the power. I think that's my favorite thing. The power delivery, the 10-speed does really good job just delivering it well. You want to pass? Almost makes like a supercharger whine with the electronics, so it's really cool to see all that. Don't think I really have any other complaints. Also, for being such a big vehicle, I don't feel like it's too big. You know, I've been in some jumbo SUVs to where once you hop inside of it, everything is so far away, you just feel tiny inside of it. Armrests are in a great place. Like, honestly, I could drive this all day long, put the whole family in the back and go somewhere a long, long distance away. So it's a nice vehicle for that. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for plenty more content to come, and I'll see you all in the next video.